Alright, peepsicles, you never guess what? I'm excited. I've only been invited to participate in this super awesome Cowboy USA Hot Dog Rocket Ship American #1 Tidy Super Friends Atheist collaboration. For some reason, the skeptic thought it would be a good idea for me to get involved. I know, I don't get it either. But in today's video, it's not just me. I'm joined by 8 other creators who all take great pleasure in pointing out how completely ridiculous it is to believe that some strange guy who lurks around somewhere up there in the clouds is keeping a watchful eye on us all. I don't know how he finds the time. I wonder if he'll find time to watch this video though. Anyway, let's do it.
Shut up and sit down, you big bald f***.
Please subscribe.
Alright, you guys want proof that God is real?
Yeah. Hello, I'm Creaky, by the way.
Alright, watch this.
Okay, so that's a tree. But I am looking and all I'm seeing, well, I saw a tree, then I saw a blue sky, and now you're showing me a cloud. How does any of this prove that God exists?
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen.
Brilliant. So by that logic, does this prove that I'm making this video on the moon?
Hello, Skeptic here, and I'm about to see exactly where the evidence of a god is, and I think it's in Canada.
You gotta watch this.
If God really is real, why doesn't he just give us some evidence? Me and Martin, we're in Canada, and we were in the most beautiful landscapes I have ever seen in my entire life. On the way back from Canada, we were sitting next to this young atheist guy. His greatest point of contention with faith, if God really is real, give us some sort of sign in the sky that he really is out there. Like, I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure you were just in the same place that we were. And you can't see that that must have been designed by a powerful being, that it must have been created by God himself. The evidence is all there, friends. You're trying to reject the truth that is all around you in creation because you don't want the implications of a creator. Because once you realize you are created, your life has been indebted to that creator. You have no option but to get down on your knees and to worship the God of all creation. Either you reject him or you get on your knees and worship him.
Or subscribe now for more.
Wow, who gave her a microphone to shout in? And why did this woman just sit there and nod along to the video? That's lazy tubing, but whatever. The atheist guy said he needed a sign from the sky. The microphone lady pointed out things that were already there, and she said he didn't want to accept a god or something. Well, she doesn't really know that, but if it were me, I wouldn't be convinced of creation. Nothing to do with the implications. I know that my parents did something I'd never want to think about, which is why I'm here, and I do not worship them. What a silly argument.
Hey everyone, JL here, and welcome back to Bridge the Divide. Today, we're taking a look at a video from the minds behind the Creation Ministries International YouTube channel, in which they have a couple of their talking heads discussing a particularly important question when it comes to the subject of their God.
Is it possible to scientifically prove that God exists?
It's a good question to be sure, and there is an answer that is logically entailed by their own worldview. But let's see how they respond to it first.
Well, no, it's not possible to prove that he does exist or does not exist because we can't put God in a test tube and do experiments.
Well, fortunately for humanity, determining the likelihood of the existence of something is not limited to only test tubes and experimentation. Anyone who has done any work in any scientific field knows that the methodology goes far deeper than that. But to address what he said there, the answer is actually yes. By the lights of the theistic worldview, we should at minimum be able to empirically confirm, albeit indirectly, that such an agent exists in a causal relationship to specifically identified phenomena.
But that doesn't mean there's no evidence. The evidence is powerful that God exists for those who are willing to consider it.
So that's really just confirmation bias. And strangely, it's also implying that the issue of establishing rational justification for the belief is on the individual assessing the claim, and not on the one actually making the claim, nor is it within the purview of the purported God entity itself. Nonetheless, the theistic worldview does logically entail that the God entity should be detectable, because in that worldview, the God is defined as interacting directly with the not God set, or the set of all things that are not itself. And per the laws of logic, a God action action cannot be indistinguishable from a non-God action. Were the two actions indistinguishable from one another in direct contradiction to the theistic worldview, that would in turn push the God proposition towards unfalsifiability, and therefore belief that it existed would be irrational. But if the two types of actions can be distinguished from one another, then it would be entailed that there is some logically possible way that we could make that distinction. And from there, we would be able to determine the external circumstances that would facilitate such an action. And with that data in hand, we would be able to establish an explanatory and novel predictive model, which would give us a rational line of inquiry that would at least indirectly point at something that could ostensibly be labeled as being a god. Unfortunately for the claimants here, no theist has ever been able to produce that. Hence the religion's hard reliance on faith and gaslighting non-believers in order to obfuscate their lack of rational justification. And as usual, with just a dash of critical reasoning, the bottom completely falls out of their recipe for indoctrination. Be safe, be excellent to each other. I'll see you next time.
What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? I'm the Godless Engineer, and I critically analyze apologist claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. Today, we're going to be discussing what Christian nationalists really want. And there's a lot of things that they want. They definitely want religion everywhere, just infiltrating all of our lives. But more specifically, they definitely want to be in your bedroom.
So you would be okay with the Supreme Court leaving the question of interracial marriage to the states?
Yes, I think that that's something that if you're not wanting the Supreme Court to weigh in on issues like that, you're not going to be able to have your cake and eat it too. I think that's hypocritical.
I know you might be thinking, oh, that's just really racist right there. And I mean, in a way it is. Very racist to say that, you know, the interracial marriage should be up for debate. I don't think that it should be whatsoever, and that's why I don't think that states should be able to dictate individually that particular human right, be able to marry who you want to in a consenting relationship. The Christian nationalist rhetoric here provides them with both, one, a shield to cover themselves with, but then also the ability to force religion into every part of American society, including your bedroom. Because I can guarantee you that this guy right here probably really doesn't care if a white dude marries a black girl or if a black dude marries a white girl. Well, I don't know. He probably has a problem with that second one. What he really wants to do is he wants to undermine the legal justification for basically privacy, and he wants to get rid of that. And one of the evils that comes with that is, of course, questioning interracial marriage. And what he is stating here is that obviously you're going to have some states that are going to outlaw it and some states that are going to allow it, and essentially regressing us back to like the 1950s, or even prior to that, 1924 is more likely what we're talking about here. So I mean, he definitely wants to regress us back that far, but he wants to regress us back that far because he wants to shove religion, specifically Christianity, into every single hole of American life, including the bedroom. He wants to be able to control that. He wants to be able to control who people can marry, who people can date. He wants to control every aspect of American life, and that's just basic Christian nationalist 101 type shit.
So one of my favorite types of arguments that young earth creationists like to use to try and disprove evolution are arguments that have an assumption where if that assumption is wrong, then the argument just falls apart. Like this one.
Do you think everything is intelligently designed?
No, I don't believe that things are intelligently designed.
Okay, you seem like an intelligent person, so I'm going to ask you something. I'd like you to make me a rose. How would you make a rose?
I don't have the capabilities to do that.
Hang on. No, it's not intelligently designed, so you should better whip me up a rose real quick.
So the assumption that's being made here is that if something isn't intelligently designed, then someone with intelligence should easily be able to make it. The problem that we run into with this, though, is that if we assume that everything is intelligently designed like Ray Comfort seems to, then how do we know that something that isn't intelligently designed would be able to be created by people with intelligence? Because in that case, you just can't point to anything that's not intelligently designed to say, hey, try to make this. Alternatively, you could say that some things are intelligently designed and some things aren't intelligently designed, but how do you determine what isn't intelligently designed? But I think there's a really simple way to show that this assumption must be false, at least if you believe in a God. Is God intelligently designed? If God was intelligently designed, then God must have been made by an intelligent creator. So there must be another God that created God, which doesn't really work with what a lot of Christians believe. But if God isn't intelligently designed, then Ray Comfort should just be able to easily create a God. Not intelligently designed, not hard to make, right?
In order for me to know what to make, I have to know what a rose is.
Well, it's got a seed, so you've got to start with nothing and you've got to create a seed from nothing. All the geniuses in the world can't make a grain of sand from nothing. We don't know where to start.
How many times do we have to explain to people that the idea that the universe came from nothing is just a hypothesis? It hasn't been confirmed.
And where does that leave you on the scale of intelligence if you say everything's not intelligently designed and you can't even make a rose?
Well, once again, Ray, try to make a god, because if you cannot make a god, then where does that leave you on the scale of intelligence?
Hey y'all, just some thoughts from a dumb redneck.
Hey you, and these are just some thoughts from a dumb old Britbong. Glad that we can agree that everyone here is an idiot. The real contest, though, is to see who's dumber. I think I'm in with the chance. Also, was that the sound of a Wii turning on? Jealous. I want to play Wii bowling.
Take height, width, depth, and time of the universe.
Okay, I didn't expect you to actually use all the time in the universe. God damn it, man. How can you make a short and have to pad for time? This is madness.
Times infinity. Okay, because those are all infinite.
What? No, what are you talking about? Those are all infinite. Those are all measurements. Measurements, by their very nature, aren't quantities, they are qualities of a thing. The thing has the measurements, and most things are, in fact, quite finite. What the hell?
Now, multiply that by the chance of evolution of a god.
I'm sorry, friend. I just can't do that, because that doesn't make any sense. Evolution wouldn't work on a god by definition, because there are no selection pressures on gods. They are gods. They're literally above that shit.
Even a tiny, tiny chance, and you get millions of gods.
I'm pretty sure by your metrics it would result in infinite gods, because you're timesing things by infinity. That's like how it works.
I think atheism is stupid.
Well, that's as may be, but I don't think I could ever compete with your dumbass.
Have y'all ever been so possessed by the Holy Spirit that you were brought to not speak in tongues, not to shake and thrive because the Holy Spirit is within you, but you have been brought to freestyle? Today we're rapping for Jesus, guys.
We more than just saved. We made for him to be in his presence, and it's great. He's not the good I am. He's the great I am. I'm rapping like a child, like it's green eggs and some ham. Ah!
I wasn't ready for the jump scare. I don't know. Okay, you guys might think I'm crazy. I kind of like it. I kind of like her. Her vibe is good. Her energy is good. She's clearly having the time of her life right now. But I gotta say, you just threw green eggs and ham in a beat like that, and then went, oh, like you just said something fire, but it was green eggs and ham, girl. Like Dr. Seuss is great, but I don't know. I'm sure Jesus loves it. Let's keep going.
Yeah, I'm having fun. That's what it is about.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was just saying. She's having fun. She's clearly having fun. As sort of cringe as this is, like, I have fun seeing people have fun. Like, she's not hurting anybody. But I wanted to comment on this because this video, for some reason, it keeps showing up on my algorithm. Like, I can't go, you know, a couple weeks without seeing this video again and again and again. I'm like, why does Instagram keep pushing this content towards me? I just feel like it was the Lord. All right, let's keep going.
Victories are the big one. Ah! I am exploding.
All right, girl, you are exploding. This video got 7.1 million views. I think half of them are from me. So the comments, hopefully this puts a smile on your guys' face. This just made me an atheist. This turned me to Satan. Don't bring Jesus into this mess, Trika. She really hit that. Finna become a Satanist after hearing this. Freestyling isn't for everyone, and that's okay. This literally ruined my day, thanks. Delete this. Oh, y'all, not only did she not delete this, she's got a lot of videos like this. I mean, they didn't all blow up to the level this one did, but there's some fire out there. Let's play one more.
Jesus is the best. He's the one I boast. He cannot do less because he already did the most. When he died up on the cross. Victory is mine and it's not a coin toss.
You know what? I should make that my ringtone. Am I crazy for kind of liking it? That last one was a little bit faster, you know? I was feeling the beat. If you're watching this video, do me a favor and comment your best verse. Give me your best Jesus freestyle. All right, peace.
Recently, a lot of people got their hopes up that the rapture was imminent. At least one of the men responsible is a South African preacher called Joshua. Let's take a look at his words and see how he's getting on, shall we?
Jesus physically appeared in front of me and told me on the 23rd and the 24th of the Feast of Trumpets in September 2025, I will come. To the people who are opposing my message, who look at me and think I am just one more, and even pull up scriptures, to oppose what I'm saying. This is what I have to say to you. On that day of the 23rd, who is God going to back up? You or me?
I guess if that's really how it works, then it looks like he backed up me. All of us. Skeptics who think that, yes, you are one more idiot in a long line of idiots. It's a bit awkward, really.
The rapture has not happened, but we are still on the 23rd. We are still on the 23rd. Yes. On the 23rd and the 24th, the rapture of the church will take place.
It's a pretty desperate play to try and extend it a little bit, like, oh, maybe I misheard. Maybe he said 23rd, 24th. You can only do that for so long, brother.
Where I am now, it is 11:05. I'm still hopeful. I have 55 minutes, to go, I myself. So, yes, I was watching the time of Israel, because since I know the Lord always or looks at Israel when he does things. But
I think I see the problem. If the Lord is always looking at Israel when he does things, maybe he had some more important stuff to worry about. I kind of bang on about this a lot, but Christian preachers, Christian pastors, influencers, public speakers for Christianity, those are the ones you're supposed to look out for. False prophets, wolf in sheep's clothing. Anyone? Christians are always so concerned with what the atheists are doing, what the Muslims are doing. The people that are spreading crazy stuff in the name of your religion is what you're supposed to be looking out for.
Because I want to show people that God exists.
Yeah.
And I've seen him with my own eyes. And many people will be like, no, this will be one of those. That will never happen. This date will come and it will be gone. And nothing will happen. I'm 1,000,000,000% sure.
Joshua was so certain, so 1,000,000,000% sure that this was going to happen on this date because Jesus physically appeared in front of him and told him so, that I am concerned that he might need medical help. If you are having audiovisual hallucinations that are that realistic and that convincing, you need to go to the hospital. It's either that, or there's a Jesus cosplayer in your neighborhood that is playing some seriously high-level pranks.
Well, there you have it, folks. 9 pretty solid reasons. Well, 8, if you discount mine, which wasn't solid at all. But I tried my best. But 9 pretty solid reasons why we all do what we do here on the interwebs, whether it be the Facebook, the YouTube, or the TikTok. Yeah, I'm old, so I add the word "the" to the start of all social media platforms. Get over it. Now then, as an added bonus... Is it a bonus? I'm not sure. But as an added bonus to this video, I feature in 9 other videos on 9 other channels, which, if I can figure out how to do it, will all be linked below. So head over there, tell them that some weird old Welsh guy sent you, and have fun. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Love you. Bye.
Out of everything that's on the internet, this is the best thing.
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, ever.